Coming up on today's episode of Airborne, Dassault Aviation reveals first Falcon 8X. Sporty's Academy Flight School launches their Cessna 172 Light project. And California Proposition 65 lawsuit regarding leaded AvGas is settled. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. Dassault Aviation rolled back the curtains earlier this week on the ultra-long-range Falcon 8X, the company's latest addition to the growing Falcon business jet family. The 8X will offer the greatest range and the longest cabin in the Falcon line, along with the most expensive selection of cabin configurations available on any executive jet. Announced in May of this year at the European Business Aviation Convention and Exhibition, the Falcon 8X builds on the advanced performance and technological prowess of the popular 7X long-range tri-jet. The 8X will offer a range of 6,450 nautical miles and a cabin 3.5 feet longer than the 7X. Like the 7X, the Falcon 8X will be capable of approaches up to 6 degrees, allowing it to serve challenging airports. The aircraft will have a balanced field length of about 6,000 feet and an approach speed at typical landing weight of 107 knots. Deliveries are expected in the second half of 2016. Sporty's Academy Flight School has gone back to the basic trainer concept of World War II. They're acquiring Cessna 172s and equipping them with basic flight instruments, along with significant interior and exterior enhancements. The only avionics are a communication radio and a transponder. The 172 Lite will be rented for $99 per hour. A factor not usually considered in attracting new pilot starts is that today's trainers overwhelm beginning students as they stare at dozens of switches, buttons, and knobs, providing access to unneeded information. For solo training, the mission is simple: to launch an airplane into the sky and return it safely to the runway. As a basic trainer, the Cessna 172 Lite teaches the students the fundamentals of airmanship and engine management with only the needed instruments to monitor airspeed, altitude, engine health, and simple communications. Sporty's Hal Sheevers said, quote, "For a basic trainer whose primary purpose is to train a client to solo, the communications radio and transponder are all the avionics needed," end quote. After the break, California FBOs and fuel suppliers come to an agreement with laws regarding leaded fuels.
ADS-B will be mandatory for most aircraft by 2020 in the United States, but you can benefit from ADS-B today with the Bendix King KT-74 Mode S transponder. The KT-74 meets the global mandates for ADS-B out when attached to a suitable WAAS GPS. Finally, the extraordinary story of the world-changing X-Prize space competition is being told and illustrated with hundreds of insider photos in Jim Campbell's colorful new book, Beyond the Blue. Journey with Jim as he flies formation with spaceships, plays in zero gravity, prepares rocket racers, and documents the amazing first decade of the personal space race. Available this summer. Get your advance order in now by checking out www.kindredspirit.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to be a supporter of Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. Last week, California fixed-based operators and fuel distributors settled a 2011 lawsuit regarding the sale of leaded aviation gasoline brought by the Center for Environmental Health, known as the CEH. CEH filed the suit under California Proposition 65 that requires businesses to warn individuals exposed to hazardous chemicals. The original lawsuit sought to prohibit the sale of leaded aviation gasoline and impose millions of dollars in fines and penalties on FBOs and distributors. Under the settlement, the affected FBOs will provide warnings of lead exposures to individuals residing within 1 kilometer of the airport. The companies, including Air Petro Corporation, Eastern Aviation Fuels, AvFuel Corporation, and others, will pay a combined $550,000 in penalties and legal costs. Thomas L. Hendricks, NATA president and CEO, said in part, quote, "We're pleased the matter is concluded and that California General Aviation and its related businesses are no longer threatened," end quote. It's Friday at last, and that means it's time for ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. With just over 3 weeks to go before the premiere of our new Airborne Unlimited broadcast, Jim takes another look into the Airborne crystal ball and tells us that Airborne Unlimited is more than news, it's a new voice for aviation. Here's this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Ashley, and hi, folks. Well, as you know, we're getting ready to start pulling the wraps off of Airborne Unlimited in just a few weeks. While it's going to be a really exciting process for us, hopefully for you, it's going to be one long, methodical, evolutionary process, because what we need to do is take a very slow, very professional approach to building something revolutionary. We're pretty excited about it. We have this phenomenal group of people backing us up, a great advisory board run by Phil Boyer, a great group of sponsors, some of the best names in the industry, folks we're really proud to represent. Nobody we have to make excuses for. Our staff, who has been just long-suffering, long-serving, is ready to get to work on all this. And we've got a number of new people coming in to work with us in a number of areas to help with the association outreach, to help build better bridges to the future for the kind of content we're trying to put together. And on top of that, something that we think is going to be particularly exciting is the outreach that ANN and Airborne will do outside of aviation. We have meetings this spring because we can credibly claim with this program to start representing the majority of the aviation interests topically, if not by population. Well, some of the biggest content aggregators in the business are starting to pay attention. They've told us what we want. We know how to do it. In many cases, we've done it already. It's just a matter right now of building up to that point. And I believe we can do it because, well, it's what we've always done. We're proud to be innovators. But I think the thing we're going to be proudest of is building the kind of tool that other innovators, the future great innovators, the folks who are going to take aviation well into the 21st century, well, hopefully we're going to be their conduit and their foundation, and nothing would give me greater pleasure than to watch all that happen, because, quite frankly, we're fully committed to this. Interesting group of people came up to me several months back, offered to buy Aero-News, and after all the struggles we'd gone through in the last couple of years, the Cirrus Wars, this awful company that tried to shut us up and was vicious in that process, did everything they possibly could to keep us from talking about things that were important to the industry in the abysmal way we believe they behaved. And the way they made us suffer for doing the right thing, well, I was more interested than I want to care to admit. But ultimately, the thing that kept me from taking the money and running was simply this. I love this industry. I love the people in it. I love the people I'm working with. I'm tremendously proud of the folks who are building around here. But more important, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to play a role in building a consensus for the future of aviation. And I'm hoping you're going to join me. In the future, we're going to show you ways that you can participate, that you can be involved in this, because one of the things that's the true beauty of Airborne Unlimited is not just the fact that we're dragging in 110 associations and more later on, but the fact that it will be open to everybody, and we've got some really exciting ways to not only bring you into the process, but make you a very strong voice among the many that want to see aviation survive. Join us, help us, be a part of the future. I think, ultimately, that this may be the best thing we're ever going to do. I hope you'll agree. And most important, I hope you'll be a very vocal part of it. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne, and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell, wishing you happy holidays, a bright future, and a great new year.
A four-wheeled Lunar Rover designed and built by Carnegie Mellon University and dubbed Andy is the winner of a milestone prize for mobility after X-Prize judges concluded it is thus far the only robot among the competing teams to meet development benchmarks for flight readiness. CMU professor William Red Whitaker said, quote, "We've shaken it to simulate launch forces, driven it through moon dirt, and exposed it to the extremes of lunar temperatures among many, many tests. Our team and our machine faced a rigorous evaluation by world-class judges and came out on top," end quote. Other teams continue to contend for milestone prizes, which will be awarded January 26th. But the CMU team is the first and only team to meet the milestone mobility objectives thus far. Likewise, CMU's partner, Pittsburgh's Astrobotic Technology, is the first winner of a milestone prize in the imaging subsystem category. The Mobility Milestone Prize includes a $500,000 cash award. After these messages, Mexico says okay to the Learjet models 70 and 75.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Welcome back. Mexico's Civil Aviation Authority of Mexico has granted full-type certification to Bombardier for the Learjet 70 and Learjet 75. Bombardier's Eric Martel said in part, quote, "This marks another exciting milestone for Learjet 70 and Learjet 75 business jets. We've had tremendous support from our customers in Mexico, and we're thrilled they will be able to experience our newest Learjet aircraft," end quote. Bombardier says the aircraft have enhanced performance, and the new avionics system contributes to achieving weight savings. Improved aerodynamic efficiency provides both aircraft up to a 9% improvement in field performance under hot and high conditions, and up to a 4% improvement in fuel efficiency. The launch of SpaceX's fifth commercial resupply service mission to the International Space Station now will occur no earlier than Tuesday, January 6th, according to NASA and the company. They will provide SpaceX engineers time to investigate further some of the issues that arose from the static fire test of the Falcon 9 rocket on December 16th and will avoid beta angle constraints. Beta angles are the only angles between the space station orbital plane and the sun, resulting in the station being in almost constant sunlight for a 10-day period. During the time, there are thermal and operational constraints that prohibit Dragon from berthing to the station. The launch postponement has no impact on the station's crew, its complement of food, fuels, and supplies, and will not impact the science being delivered to the crew once Dragon arrives at the station. Well, that's our program. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember, Airborne is streamed 3 times a week and is always online. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new edition. And remember, the debut of Airborne Unlimited is now only a few weeks away.